Lynn Randall, giving you the 411 on what's going on in Champaign-Urbana and surrounding communities. And now, Around Town with Lynn Randall.
All right, Champaign, we're back for the last part of the show, but certainly not the least of the show. We've got with us Champaign native and author Renee Angela.
Yes.
Okay. And we're delighted to have her with us this morning. She has a new book out, and In a Dream is what it's called. It is romance, but it's also so typical of life. It really is, and the folks you run into going through life. And I got to just sample the book and laughed so much. So we will talk about that more, but first we're going to just kind of give you an idea of who Renee is and a little bit about her background.
Hello, and thank you for having me on your show. I am a native of Champaign, went to Champaign schools, worked in Champaign schools. I have a daughter who has autism, and so throughout the time, I've done many things within the community, mostly with high school students. I love being around high school, junior high school students. I always say they're fun because they always yell back. So I've just kind of worked in customer service, kind of service-related areas throughout time. And throughout all of this, I decided to write a book, which was In a Dream. And I actually started writing this book 5 years ago and started writing the manuscript. And then I had to shelve the book for a while to take care of some issues with my daughter, some advocacy issues surrounding the public schools. And I just went back to the manuscript just this last year after going through a very, very tumultuous 2000. Throughout some of these events, it was deaths and breakups and surgeries, and I had to just kind of stand back. And so when I picked up In a Dream again, that was my saving grace. It helped me get through those tumultuous times, and I just held on to writing the book, finishing it up, designing the cover, and launching it in December. And I'm very, very happy of the response that it has gotten. I released it the 1st of December, and by the first week in January, it became #1 on romance, under the romance section in the self-publishing website, lulu.com, and it was there for 2 weeks. So I was really happy about that, and the response from people who have bought the book and read the book have just been wonderful, and I thank all those people for supporting me on my debut novel.
And she says debut novel, but actually she has written something before. Can we just mention that?
Yes, I released a inspirational book called 35 Wishes in 2008, and I actually just retired that book and reissued it, a second edition, this year. So it's just little wishes. I wish for love. I wish for manifestation. I wish for riches. And it's 35 wishes, and it's actually a part of a series that is going to be a 3-part series. So the first part is 35 wishes, and the second part I'm writing right now is called 35 Poems, Breaking of a New Dawn. And then the last part of the series will be 35 More Wishes, Utopian World. So it's just a lot of inspirational ideals and just straight from the heart. It's very easy read. It's not terribly big, but that was my very first book that I wrote and published.
One thing I've learned about you already is that you are a survivor. And many times, sisters, we know that we have to grab on to whatever is stable in our lives to survive some of these ugly things. And like Renee said, she had a tough 2010, but she held on. She persevered. She said, I've got this book over here. I'm going to finish it, and it's going to be okay, and life is going to be better. And so she's smiling this morning, and she should be smiling because let me tell you, Champaign, as I said, sampled the book, and I I had so much fun. I was laughing, literally sitting on my couch just laughing away. And let's talk a little bit about some of the characters in the book without giving all the whole story away.
Well, I have basically 4 main characters, and that is 2 males, 2 females. The 2 males is Johnny Walker and Tyron Pennington, and they're both basketball players, getting drafted by the NBA, so they're kind of used to women being around them and the swag and the glitz and the glam, and so that's how they kind of live their lifestyle, is this bachelors and ball players, typical ball players. But there's a side to Johnny who is really kind of the main character. They've both been in the military, but he's kind of a little bit more serious. Johnny is just kind of one of those people that embrace different things, and so he is in the background being taught by an Indian guru. So he does a lot of meditation and a lot of Buddhist practices, and that kind of comes out as you read the book. The 2 female characters is Celeste Tucker and Tracy, and I get a lot of positive feedback for Tracy. I call Tracy my Medea character. So
can I please share my impressions of Tracy? Tracy is a right down on it sister, okay? Tracy is, she just, she says what she feels. She doesn't like bougie women, okay? And she's Celeste's good friend and will look out for her sister, her sister girl.
Yes.
But oh my gosh! And then we should also tell them that Johnny and Celeste, are about to get married.
Yes.
At least that's how the book starts off.
Yes.
And Johnny's mama. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Johnny's mama. You got to experience Johnny's mama and how Tracy relates to Johnny's mama.
And you have to think of moms as in those mother-in-laws.
Yes.
So every woman who has a mother-in-law understands where I'm coming from with the mother.
And this is a mother-in-law who is country club,
very ritzy.
Very ritzy, can't carry anything less than a Coach bag, that kind. Okay. Well, anyhow, so you need to read this book, folks. It is too funny, and I love the way Renee she just takes you right along. I mean, it's just like a smooth journey. You enter into it, and right away you want to embrace the characters. It's just people you can relate to. They're like people that are down the street or people that you've met in church or somewhere. You know?
Yes. I kind of took the theme and the tone of having. I call this novel my adult fairy tale, and so I kind of took the concept of literature and fairy tales in those poetic feels, and that's kind of how I wrote the book. It's a very poetic feel, but I wanted to put the modern day twist in it. So throughout the book you will find the single mom problems, you will find the problems with just relationship issues, and Johnny and Celeste are the main relationship characters, so you will see different twists and turns with their relationships and how they overcome it. And the great question is, will their social differences and their economic differences survive through this love, and does the love survive these differences and all these people that are pulling and tugging at them and saying, no, she's not good enough for you, or he's not good enough for her. And so that's the kind of feel of the book, is to answer the question. And then you have to figure out, are you in the dream or are you not in the dream? So throughout the book you're going to have to figure out whether she's dreaming or not. So
okay,
that's the twist.
Okay. that is a twist. And Renee has really have you, okay, you're from Champaign, born and reared here, but you must have, when the way this book reads, it's like you've been all over the world. Have you?
I have not traveled all over the world, but I am a lover of worldly things. So I embrace a lot of just different cultures, different experiences. I call myself an internet junkie. Now, I am a researcher and will look up every possible land there is. And so in that, I take these bits and pieces from all these lands that I look up, Elephantine, Tibet, places in South America, Ecuador, and I take these little blurbs and that's where I've kind of formulated the scenery for In a Dream. It really is just basically out of my mind, and there may be a place on earth just like this, but I've changed the name for it, so.
Well, okay. So, if we want to get our hands on In a Dream, how do we do that?
Well, right now I am selling directly the book for $15 plus shipping and handling, and if you go to my website, ReneeAngelah.com, that's ReneeAngelah.com. You can shoot me a note and say, hey, I'd like a copy of your book. You can also find the book on Lulu.com, and if you go to my website, Renee Angelah, you can actually click on the picture of the book. It'll take you straight to the Lulu website. You can buy it off of there. And I'm actually going to be doing a couple book signings next month.
Where?
March 12th, I will be at the National Council of African American Men's Evening of Celebration and Recognition. So I will be there selling my book and signing, and I will also be mistress of ceremony. So come out and join NCAM with their Evening of Celebration. It's starts at 6 o'clock. I think cocktails are at 6 o'clock, and so at that time I'll be at my table, and I'll be selling books. I'll be also raffling off a gift basket that night as well for that evening. And then March 18th, I will be at the Family Advocacy Center in Champaign, right across the street from Westside Park. And Imani Bazell is over that program, and so she's going to be hosting I call it In a Dream Happy Hour. So,
okay.
So if you come out, and I'll be reading some passages from the book, discussing the book, and we will also be selling the book and doing a book signing. That we ask for people to kind of go to my website, ReneeAngelah.com, and just kind of shoot me a note, because we are going to have hors d'oeuvres there and non-alcoholic drinks. And so I just want to make sure I keep an adequate head count so that everybody can receive some hors d'oeuvres and drinks. And it's just a very
and that you have
hour.
Enough books. Of course, we won't mind if you come and buy us out.
Yeah, we will not definitely
mind that.
not mind that.
Okay. But, that's great.
Yes.
I wondered about book signings, so that's wonderful.
Yes,
to
and
know.
so those are just some of the tip of the iceberg. And if you go to my website, and you can follow me on Twitter. You can become a fan of the Facebook page that I have for In a Dream, and I will keep updates as I go around town and do more book signings or whatever else, whatever other events that I may just happen to be at, and so. Or lectures. I'm trying to put together some lecture series on relationships as well. So,
wow. And as I said, this lady recovers nicely. She really does. Before we go, any words of wisdom for young folks who are considering wanting to write?
I always just say, just start off writing whatever you feel. Even if it doesn't sound good to you, just write it down, type it up, and then you can go back and edit at any time. And I really encourage people to just stay at it. I really thank my dad, actually, because when I was working on this book, he just said, just finish the book. So, and so it was that, keeping that in mind of just get it finished. And you can go back and you can edit many times. But I, myself, having finished the book, designed the cover, self-published it, I felt a sense of empowerment. So when I first released my book, it wasn't about getting accolades. It wasn't about getting money. It was the empowerment of saying, I started something and finished it. And you get such a good feeling when it's done, all your hard work, your sweat and tears, and then it came back, and like I said, I've been getting a very, very great response, and I am just so truly thankful to the Most High God for that experience and having that response that I have. But I really feel good about myself for finishing, especially going through, like I said, such a tumultuous 2010. I actually came out in 2011. I said, the decade's over, because